Hi families, this is Emily with the Special Needs Resource Foundation of San Diego and our Tuesday reading and craft. So today we planned to read a different book, but we had a tragedy strike. So I was looking for the book that I had planned the craft for and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I remembered I loaned it to a friend and that friend has moved out of state. And this was going to be the first book that is written by an author who is not close by, so I couldn't even get the book quickly. The stores aren't open quite yet. I couldn't get to the store. So I called my friend Salina, who is awesome at letting us read her books, and she was part of our Read 3x3 event next year, which we're hoping to have in September this year. And I was like, oh my God, Salina, may I please read Found? And she was like, well, there's other books you could read. And I'm like, but you don't understand how important this is because it's exactly how I feel right now. I lost something and it's causing me distress. So this is the perfect theme. So Salina has written 200 books for kids with all kinds of abilities, any ability. And she has some that are particular to kids that might have like learning difficulties. Like We Love Be a Friend, because it's all about having that one special friend that helps you make it through. And the person speaks in a mime, the main character, Dennis. And so we kind of equate it to our nonverbal families. So Found has Bear, who's a recurring character of Salina's. We love Penguin. Penguin's our favorite. Penguin and Pinecone is my son Aiden's favorite book. So let me start off by reading Found, and then we'll make our own sensory floppy bunny. And if you're ever lucky enough to go to a signing event with Salina Yoon, sometimes she will draw you a character because she's an amazingly fast artist. One day, Bear found something in the forest. Bear thought it was the most special thing he'd ever seen. He gently carried the toy bunny home. This lost bunny seems sad, thought Bear. He wanted to help find its home. With flyers stacked high, Bear set off. Bear posted flyers on every tree. There were many treasure things that were lost, but not a toy bunny. My goodness, look at all those lost things. Like my book. He searched high and low for its owner. But no one came for the bunny. Bear, time for supper. Bear wished the bunny was his to keep. The bunny's family must be so worried, thought Bear. Poor lost bunny. The next day, Bear and the bunny swung on a tire, played hide and seek, and picked juicy blackberries, and had a picnic. Sounds like a great day. It was a great day until Floppy, my bunny! Bear screeched to a stop. Bear handed the bunny to Moose. The bunny was finally going home. Bear doesn't seem happy about that. Floppy, my dear old friend. Moose seems pretty happy though. As a young calf, Moose had loved Floppy very much. Bye, Floppy, says Bear. Wait! And Bear with his bike helmet. Moose was glad to see Floppy, but special toys are passed on to someone special. Will you take good care of Floppy for me? Asked Moose. Forever. The bunny wasn't lost anymore. Floppy was home, safe and found. We love this book because it's so sweet. And now we are going to make our own version of Floppy Bunny. So I don't know about you all, but we have been going through a lot of laundry. Everyone home, everyone changing their clothes several times a day, going into the pool and out of the pool. So we have socks that just don't have friends. And we decided, oh, well, we can make a really cool craft. And Floppy Bunny is the perfect kind of craft to make with our single socks. And we're going to make this kind of a sensory thing. So we actually made, Floppy Bunny is kind of like a bean bag. You can use beans or rice. And we also, he smells delicious. He smells like lavender. And when you have a child or a friend that has sensory issues, sometimes it's really nice to have someone that you can cuddle and squeeze and sniff. So we're going to show you what you need. First of all, we need a sock. We need some ribbon or something to embellish. We need a heavy glass or cup or jar that we can stretch our sock over. We're using rice, but you could also use beans. I recommend organic things. But the thing about this is, if you make your bunny with this, you can't wash it. So you have to take it apart, wash the sock, put everything back in. It's not too hard if you use rubber bands, but we'll get to that part. I have lavender, and I also have a piece of rosemary from my garden. Oh, it smells so good. It always makes me feel very calm. And then if you happen to have stuffing and you prefer your bunny to be super soft, I like my bunny to be squishy, but stuffing is really nice too. You don't have, I'd say one or the other. You don't need both. We're going to need some kind of glue. I'm going to show you with hot glue today, but I recommend using tacky glue because it really sticks really well, and that way no one burns their fingers or anything. And then you're going to need some type of thing for Bunny's face. So I used a pom-pom and googly eyes for this bunny, but I only had 2 googly eyes. I can't find where my googly eyes are. I think I might have used them on all my Mad Eye Moody wands. So I have some sequins, and I have another pom-pom for the nose. You could use buttons, you could use earrings, whatever you might have around that has a kind of eye look, or you could use a Sharpie marker and draw on your pieces. You can add little felt teeth. You can embellish your bunny however you like. So what we're going to do is we're first going to leave our sock. And if you have a tiny, tiny foot, you might want to use one of mom and dad's or big brothers or sister's socks. And we are going to, like you're going to put it on your foot, you're going to scrunch up the sock like this. We're going to put it inside our glass, and then we're going to stretch it over the edge. And if you have a tough time with that, mom or dad might help. Now, the reason we do this is so that it's stable when you pour in whatever you're putting in. If you're stuffing, it doesn't matter if your sock's squishing around because you're shoving your hand in there. But if you're stuffing in beans or rice, it makes it really nice to just be able to pour your rice. And I'm going to pour it about 3/4 of the way up through here. Okay, so turn it towards you, but I'll throw the rice out. There you go. So your rice is in there. And then, you know what? I think I'm gonna, sometimes you want to redo it again to make sure you get enough rice in there. Give it a little shake because the rice settles. Okay, so there's my rice. And I'm gonna shake it so all the rice comes down. Now, the next thing I'm going to need is either a rubber band, or I'm using zip ties because I don't have rubber bands at home. You could also use the ties that go around bread, or sometimes you'll get ties that go around the cords of electronic equipment, whatever you have, because we know that this time we don't have a lot of time to go to the store. Not a lot of the stores are open. So this is a zip tie that we use, and I'm just going to put it around here and slip it through the hole and make it nice and tight. Zip. And then I'm going to cut that edge because I don't want it poking me. Okay, and there's the bottom of my bunny. Now I'm going to slide this back in. I'm going to make it kind of thin so it goes all the way down to the bottom. And I'm going to put this back on my glass. And I'm going to pour the rest of my rice in. Oops. Whoa, I overflowed it. Oh my goodness. That happens sometimes. It's okay. So I'm going to pull my sock up just a little bit more like that. Give myself a little more room. And clean up my mess. I am a clever crafter, but I am not always a neat crafter. And then I'm going to take my rosemary and I'm going to cut it in half. I snip it in half, or I could use scissors. And then I'm going to crush it a little bit, which releases the smell. I'm going to put it right in here. And I'm also going to put some of my lavender in here. Oops. Again, clever, not neat. There is the head of my bunny. And man, does he smell good. So I think I'm going to put a little bit more in here. Just make put a little bit more. Just want them to be, I want the head to be full. And you can keep rolling your sock up so that it gets a little higher to get your rice in. And I'm going to very carefully, whoa, there it goes again. It's like 4th of July, like fireworks. And then I'm going to push that down like that. And then I'm going to take another rubber band or zip tie or twisty tie, whatever I choose to use. And I'm going to put that around the top of my head. Just like this. I'm going to slide it through, and ooh, it smells so good. Floppy bunny smells delicious. And then I'm going to clip that off. Okay, so there's my floppy bunny. Slide that forward so I have a nice clean surface. Okay, so now I have this flat part here. I'm going to flatten out my sock. Now I am going to, I want my ears to be about that tall, so I'm just going to go straight across, cut my ears with scissors. Now ears are kind of shaped like that. So what I'm going to do is, now normally I would just cut it, but I'm going to draw it for you so you can see the shape. So I'm going to take the marker and I'm going to draw 2 ears, one going one way and one going the other. And I'm going to cut through both the back and the front of the sock. Okay, so there you can kind of see the shape. See that line that's going down? And I'm going to cut that out. It's like a triangle that I'm going to cut out of the fabric. It helps to have adult scissors, or at least sharp kid scissors. Safety scissors really don't work for fabric very well. And if you want to make your ears stiff, you can add a little bit of felt on the inside with glue, or if you're good at sewing, you can also sew. Get rid of that guy. So there's our 2 ears after we cut them out. There's our floppy bunny ears. Now I'm going to figure out, oh, my nose is going to be about halfway through the face right there. I'm going to put a little dab of glue there. And I am going to glue on my pom-pom or my floppy bunny nose. There's my floppy bunny nose. And then I'm going to do, now if I was going to draw, I could do 2 eyes. Like this. With eyelashes, and I could draw a floppy bunny face. But I have green sequins. And I'm going to put 2 dabs of glue, and I think I'm going to leave the eyelash part that I just drew Put 2 dabs of glue, and I'm going to do my 2 eyes. Now, if you're using white glue, you're going to have to give it some time to dry. It's going to take about 6 hours for it to fully dry so that you don't pull them off. But hot glue goes pretty quickly. So there's my floppy bunny face. Again, you can use buttons, you can use anything. And then I want to give my floppy bunny a bow to show how handsome he looks. And I'm going to tie my bow. I'm going to take my 2 ends. This is a great way that you could work with your children on tying. We're going to go through here like this. Then on one side, I'm going to make a loop with my fingers, just like that. On the other side, I'm going to bring this around and back through where my thumb is, and then push it on through and pull. And there is my floppy bunny. He's been found. So we'd like to thank Salina Yoon for letting us read Found, and also Bloomsbury, her publisher, that allowed us to read today. And we encourage you to go to Salina, I think it's salinayoon.com, and you can view all of her different books. And for sure, on the Bloomsbury website, they'll have all of the books that you can buy from Salina. And we will see you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we have another special guest artist. He is also an artist with autism, and he is an animal expert. So we're going to be reading a book about animals, and he's going to be doing a pet craft with us. So we'll see you next week.